Hi everyone, my name is Bruce Swartz. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I'm wishing you all the best for 2019, and I'm just so very happy that 2018 is done with and out of the way. Wow, I'm not going to get into what 2018 was about, right? It was hell. A lot of silly stuff going on. And this is the surface of the moon. In this video, I've gotten some nice close-ups of UFOs in it, gathering a lot of my research that I've been doing for the past 2 years, especially in 2018, guys. We have findings just under 100 UFOs, different types of UFOs, colors on the surface, and let me tell you that colors on the surface have nothing to do with chromatic aberration. People come to the channel and say, well, Bruce, have you forgotten about chromatic aberration? In reality, that person's staring at chromatic aberration, a light on the surface. You have to look at the overall surface. And the public will always be telling me that there's not this, there's not that, chromatic aberration, that it's pixelation, but that's fine, and it's getting very old. And when I see those comments now, you can be rest assured, the rest of the community, I will just delete them. Just starting to get rid of some scrap on the pages because it's getting boring there. And now we're advancing into the future with this technology of being able to see the surface, a new technique. This is a bridge behind Clavius Crater. I gathered so many interesting points throughout the year, so many objects of proof and live footage that there is something up there. The surface really is constructed. We're in the Southern Highlands right now. This is just behind Clavius Crater, and that long line that's going all the way to the back, and it even crosses straight through and over top of Clavius Crater, leaving the south part. A square right here in the circle. A square, I call it a shield, a force field. There's something there hiding the surface. See, the construction is the same surface. Look at the shaft there. High rising object towering off the surface. So all that little bit of detail in just that little bit of footage. It's all there. Because there are so many channels out there of people just posting a lot of bullcrap, my channel's not being seen. Look at the surface here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Objects side by side. Some of them, the things I'm finding look like square elevated platforms. Could be solar panels. We never know what these things are. The proof is on my channel, and I have a lot of thanks, and I'm very grateful for all this amazing community, for having shared my work, for supporting me. I don't want you guys to change, just keep doing what you're doing. But what it comes down to is that the research that I'm doing really does have to get out. Alien disclosure is in process, and it has been probably for a couple of years, but there are different groups of people that are going to notice this first. Before it comes to the public, it's going to have to hit the news. And if it doesn't hit the news, well, the public in general, the overall world, is not going to believe probably what's going on. Oh, yes, it would cause a lot of turmoil if everyone knew that there was constructed objects on the surface of the moon. But no, I really don't think that. I think we're past that, you know? And of course, you can be sure the media is going to tell us otherwise. Anyways, I won't get too much into that. Everyone knows what's going on anyways. Yeah. Colors on the surface of the moon, and not just any color. We have an overall greenery. The surface in general is brown, green, just like here on Earth in many areas. Even some areas you could swear that are deserted areas, like desert sands and mountainous regions, maybe even possibly regions with snow. This, I love showing this part. This is the Crisium Basin, and the structuring that is around it is near invisible. You can nearly not see it at all in regular, just boring gray footage. But the constructed objects that I'm saying are constructed, when you look at the details around the Crisium Basin, really makes you wonder if these objects were constructed or not. We're beyond trying to prove that, because those just arriving to the channel, thanks so much for connecting and subscribing. Please look back into the videos. I have proof of the structuring, the cities, lights flashing on the surface, that there's a cloud, natural or not, on the surface. That's what I'm doing in my research. I'm seeing objects like UFOs approaching and leaving the outer limits of the moon. I'm examining the magnification of the Terminator line, which is that darkness as the phase moves across the moon, the darkness and the daylight together. It's elevating the surface, showing us so much detail on the surface. This is the Terminator line. This is why I'm often filming it. I have contacted MUFON, for those of you wondering, but indirectly it wasn't me. It's somebody that spoke of my research to, I'm not going to talk too much about the names, but it was the highest up in MUFON. It's the owner, obviously the founder, one of the founders, Fran, I believe, will be seeing some of my work, or was sent some of my work, and I do have the intentions in the next conference to having reached them before that occurs, and maybe have a chance to get my research seen, or maybe even be on the platform with all the other interesting people at MUFON. I'll keep you posted. This Bianchini crater, Sinus Iridum. So now the surface is constructed in a way where they have these platform-like objects that are very reflective, and on top of that, they construct. They can build, they can unbuild, they can build and destroy. Everything's connected, symmetrical objects everywhere. Bianchini on the top left there. We're not going to notice them, destroying certain parts of the moon because it's so pressed up under the haze and on the reflective surfaces. Unless you do like I'm doing right now, I'm documenting all the proof and all these structures. Yes, after a couple of years of doing this, if ever there's a big major change or, on the surface, I am definitely, hopefully, going to be able to see those changes and document them as I go along doing the research, because the research is very real. Most YouTube channels that are researching the moon are using NASA footage, and listen, there's nothing wrong about that, because it's what interested me to do this myself. But I'm using my own footage, my actual own footage, and it's the UFOs that I'm finding are my actual own time and patient research that I'm trying to do. See the shadow on the surface alongside when you see a UFO? Now, this is over Clavius crater, and this one is elongated. It's stretched out. I'm showing you proof of objects, UFOs on the surface that are going in different directions to one another, some of them, and also very important, they have different shapes and sizes. Some of them let off a kind of gas or smoke behind them, which I will show later on in the video. This is a dark craft. It really does look triangular. Leaving the moon is going over the edge where the Terminator line would be. So the edge of the moon that is plunged into the darkness. So activity is always going on up there, whether it's bright or dark, whether the moon is seen or not. They can do what they want, and they could probably very easily hide from us by knowing that any activity in the Terminator line will not be seen. They can do what they want down there. There's still lights down there, okay? It's not turned off, but we're not seeing it because of, I guess, supposedly that Terminator line. This is a cloud hovering, one of many that I'm seeing, leaving a surface shadow. They're alongside the craters, and when you zoom up, well, these are the objects you see. Now, some of them look like creatures and not necessarily like UFOs. So I've documented different types of activity and different types of UFOs. Some of them look alive. They literally look like alien life forms. Here's one that is spraying on the surface, and you can actually see other UFOs, like in the red circle here, going in another direction. The other one going upwards just over top of it spraying.